Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the FE Bar. It is Monday evening. It's just after a Formula E weekend, and we're ready to review everything that happened. The night race in Tokyo. Thanks for sticking with us if you've been waiting for a little bit. We are a little bit late on air. We had some technical problems tonight. It's been a little bit all over the shop. But as you can tell, Jack Germain is not here because he is over in Tokyo, and we should be hearing from him a little bit later on in the show. But I'm delighted to say that joining me, at least for the first little bit, a very last minute call up, so thank you so much for Toby Verts from Formula E. Toby, very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening to all of you.
Yeah, so obviously you were on German television again this weekend, calling the race. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it was quite a bit tricky, let's say it that way. Both races were very different, but had to say there have been very big surprises in both of the races. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, and how cool was it to see Tokyo under lights? I know it's something that we've known about for a little while, but it did look absolutely spectacular, didn't it?
Absolutely, I really like how it looks to drive in the dark with the lighting, and the skyline of Tokyo is absolutely great for such a night race. So I have to say it was the absolute right decision to make Tokyo a night race, especially because the times are a bit better for us in Europe, to be honest. So we don't have to get up that early in the morning. But I really enjoyed the view of the track, being in the light again.
Yeah, and one of the main things about making it a night race was also part of moving it later in the year. I know that there was also some construction going on around that part of Tokyo as well, which is also another reason for moving later in the year. But it did mean that we did get it was very hot, very humid, and a lot of thunderstorms as well, which wrote off free practice 3, delayed free practice 1, and the paddock had to be evacuated on a few occasions.
Yeah, that's the big risk if you are in Japan in June, July. That's it's the monsoon season, so the possibility is quite big that you get trouble with the weather. And yeah, so it happened on the Friday, on the Saturday, and even on the Sunday. So yeah, I don't know if it's really clever to go to Tokyo in June, July, or something like that. But we will see it next season too, when Tokyo will be the season finale.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be on the same weekend next year. The same with Shanghai as well, where we saw 2 weeks ago that we also had this situation where it was going to be, the weather was going to be unpredictable, so much so that they moved the races forward. Is that something that you were surprised by, that they kept the same dates for next season when the calendar was released?
Yes, to be honest. I would have thought that they will do the season finale in Europe again, but Formula E decided to go back to Asia in the hot summer. Yeah, but in terms of logistic, it should be better just to have one European part of the season and one Asian part of the season. But yeah, then we will have a race in April in Sanya again, which doesn't make any sense from my point of view. Yeah, don't know. I don't know what's the right way to do those things, but from my personal feeling, I would say that it would be better to be in Japan, in China a little bit earlier than in July.
Yeah, and yeah, like we alluded to, it did mean that there was a whole vast of weather conditions that happened over the weekend, and it meant that in the Sunday race we saw once again a wet, dry affair, which is something that we saw in Miami earlier this year, and also last time out in Shanghai, and it's this wet, dry setup again that there's that this split that everyone seems to go down, and so we saw it very much in the extreme way in Shanghai, where Ericsson, Degrassi, and Verne were nowhere by, I think, 10 laps to go, and then suddenly they were the top three. That suddenly Roland came alive out of nowhere. You had Jev and Cass come alive as well, and Nick De Vries, who was there or thereabout, but he went on to win that Sunday race. I think there was a little bit of luck in it as well with the red flag, but yeah, the dry runners that really excelled towards the end of that one.
I think it was exactly the same as in Shanghai, as you mentioned. The big difference was that there were 8 drivers who had a wet setup, and those 8 drivers were in front in the first half of the race, and there was a big gap to P9 and P10. I think that has been 15 seconds, something like that, at lap 12, I think. So yeah, we had this time 12 drivers with a dry setup that were able to catch up in the second half of the race, and yeah, they really catch up quite fast. I think it was about 2.5 or maybe 3 seconds per lap that Nick De Vries was faster, like, for example, Antonio Felix da Costa or Pascal Wehrlein, who had the wet setup. And yeah, in the end, all those drivers starting with a with a wet setup, were out of the points in the end. The only driver that made it into the points was Nico Müller, who did a pit stop during the full course yellow, and he switched tires, and he put tires on with a dry tire pressure. So he was able to catch up in the end again and reaching P7 in the end. 6 valuable points for Porsche, who became world champion in the manufacturers became manufacturers world champions, let's say it that way, already in Tokyo, and who catched up a little bit in the teams championship too.
Yeah, I'm pleased that you pointed out the Nico Müller thing, because I did see him come into the pits and I didn't really know what he was doing. So yeah, no, it's good information. But it means that we go to London with 9 drivers in the championship fight. That is the most.
Theory, yes.
Yeah. Well, yes, yeah. Mathematically, realistically, it's probably going to be the top 4. I think realistically, Mortara and Da Costa are a little bit too far away. They're 30 points off of Jake Dennis at the top of the table, but yeah, it's the most that we've had coming into the last location since season 7, since the new qualifying format came in. I know that it's the end of a generation cycle and everything starts to close up, but how important is that? And do you think that 9 is potentially too much? Because we all agreed that 18 or whatever it was in season 7 was too much. But but yeah, 9. It's admittedly it's half, but it's still quite a lot to kind of look at all the permutations for the final round of the year.
Yeah, but I think the fact that there are still 9 drivers left who mathematically can win the title, that says a lot about the drivers in front. None of the drivers in front scored points during all of the last 6 races. Yeah, every driver had at least 1 or 2 bad races where he didn't score any points. And yeah, that of course leads the driver in P6, P7 in the championship to be not that far away from P1, and yeah, so that many drivers still have chances. But I think we have 3 drivers who are just separated by, I think, 6 points. Is that right?
It's either 5 or 6. I can't remember. I know it's somewhere around there. But
yes, I know it's 2 and 3. I think you are right. It's 5 points. I think one of these 3 drivers will be able to make some big points in the Saturday race in London, and then there will be, of course, less than 9 drivers who will still be in contention. But to be honest, 9 drivers is quite a lot, and it's too much to showcase really a title fight when half of the field can still be the champion.
yeah, definitely. Let's go back to Pascal Wehrlein, because he had an absolutely shocking weekend. I know that he was the one that he was someone who used the wet setup in the Sunday race, but the Saturday race, sort of across the board, it was just just a shocking weekend all round from Pascal.
Yeah, Saturday race. It was a situation. His biggest friend in the paddock, let's say it that way. I think they were maybe playing a little game. The stewards gave Pascal a penalty because he caused the collision with Antonio Felix da Costa. In theory, let's say it that way. To be honest, during the roadways, there were, I think, at least 20, 25 situations where drivers were going through this chicane next to each other. And just 2 times there was a collision. Both Antonio Felix da Costa with one of the Porsche drivers. And yeah, if you think about that, Mitch Evans, his teammate, is one of the title contenders, and Jaguar is fighting Porsche in the teams championship. It's a bit difficult, let's say it that way. Back to Wehrlein. The steward said that it was his fault because he was not with his front axle on the same height as the mirrors of Antonio Felix da Costa. Was right in theory, but because it was a chicane with a right turn followed by a left turn, I think it's not that easy. But if Antonio would, I think if it was another car than a Porsche, then this situation didn't happen. Let's say it that way. I don't want to say that Antonio did it on purpose, but maybe against his old team he was driving a bit harder than against other rivals. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, and just before we let you go, because obviously you came on last minute, and we're not going to force you to stay for too long. What else are you taking away from Tokyo, and what are you looking forward to the final race in London?
What do I take from Tokyo? I take from Tokyo that I don't have an idea. I don't have any idea who will be drivers' world champion. Maybe it's Mitch, maybe it's Jake Dennis, maybe it's Pascal, maybe it's Oliver Rowland. I have no clue, to be honest. It's absolutely open. Every of those 4 drivers can be world champion after London. I think we will see 2 very interesting races in London. I hope the weather will be better. But in the UK,
I don't think it can be. I don't think it can be worse.
You never know, but I hope we will see dry races so that this will not be a topic again. I think we had now enough races with wet conditions for this season. So I hope the races will be dry, that the weather will be no talking point.
Yeah, I will say it can't get much worse, but I do remember, was it season 9? The race was delayed in London for 3 hours due to the heavy rain.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was season 9.
Yeah, no, that wasn't great. Actually, one thing I am just going to ask before we let you go, Toby, is you went to Spain recently with Citroen. How much can you say about your experience there?
Yeah, I was in Spain. I was invited by Citroën Germany to the Gen 4 tests of Citroën. Porsche was there too on the same day, but I'm not allowed to speak much about Porsche. That was one of the instructions we got. I saw the Citroën livery on the Gen 4, which is really looking great. I spoke with Jean-Eric Verne, who was there as a test driver. On the morning session, the afternoon session was driven by Theo Pourchaire, who I think we will see sometimes in the new season.
Yeah.
I can't talk about where we will see him, but
I think you're right on that one.
We will see him quite often. In the season. Of course, I saw the Gen 4 car already in Paul Ricard. But yeah, to be at a Gen 4 test where the teams are already doing performance tests, it was a very, very special experience. The car is really, really quick, I can tell you. It's really a big difference compared to Gen 3 Evo. And yeah, I'm looking forward to be in Madrid again for Gen 4 preseason test of season 13.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that one as well. It'd be so cool to see all the 24 cars there. Toby, you're an absolute godsend for coming on half an hour earlier than you should have done and filling in for a bit. We are going to take a break while we switch around the co-hosts. Don't go anywhere. It's only going to be about 30 seconds. We'll see you guys in a couple seconds time.
Thanks for having me.
I need to click on you. There we go. You're there. Oh, when it rains, it falls. Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're delighted to be joined by Jack Smith from Motorsport Week. Now, Jack, you were supposed to be here half an hour ago. Tell us what's happened.
I'm going to give you 2 words. Virgin Media.
Yeah. Don't say that in front of Jeff Dodds when you see him in London. He has ties. Either that, or see if you can use his ties to get better internet.
Well, I'll tell you what. If he was still there, it'd be working better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah,
I recovered that so well.
Yes, yeah, fantastic recovery. thanks for joining us and thanks for coming on.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you're in Hungary this weekend, yeah? Or
No, I wasn't actually.
you weren't? Were you not? Oh,
No, my summer break started a week early. Yeah.
oh, lovely. Yeah. So you're able to sit at home and get fear of missing out from F1.
Yeah, I was, but it gave me a chance to actually watch pretty much everything. So I got a
Yeah.
chance to watch the two E-Prix and that as well. Um, so I was fully caught up, which I haven't been actually for the last sort of few rounds.
Yeah. And what did you make of Tokyo under the lights? It looks spectacular, didn't it?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was pretty much everything I expected it to be from that point of view. That it just looked amazing. And you know, I know it's not the widest of circuits, but it does cause carnage, and thankfully the weather sort of threw a bit extra in there as well. And I came away very happy and thoroughly entertained as well. So yeah, I think it was a good Tokyo send off for Gen 3. I just hope that they can find a way of keeping it going in a good way for the next generation.
Yeah, because as Toby mentioned earlier on, it is going to be the season finale next year, and it did make me think during the weekend that we do like to end the Formula E season on tight, twisty circuits that don't provide much overtaking. Obviously, for like the last 4 or 5 years, it's been London. Before that, it was Seoul, and next year it's Tokyo. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to. But yeah, speaking of London, we head there 3 weeks time, and we've got 9 drivers in the fight. How exciting is that?
It is though, isn't it? It just sums up what the championship's about. The fact that we've got, you know, we thought, what was it, a couple of seasons ago when we went into the first race of that weekend, we had, was it about 5 or 6 that were mathematically possible? I think even
I
Jev
can't
was at that
remember.
point as well.
I can't remember.
Um,
I think this is the most that we've had since season 7 when they changed it, but I can't. I know that we had 4 in season 8. I thought we had 4 in season 9 as well. I can't remember. We might have had more in 10, but yeah.
I think we had more in 10. I think there was.
I know that there
3 or
was
4 in...
Yeah, there was 3 that were the protagonists, which was Verline, Evans, and Cassidy, and then and there might have been a couple mathematical ones on top of that as well, but I can't really remember off the top of my head. But
I think it was Roland Acosta and Jev.
Yeah.
Or it was DaCosta and Jev or Roland and Jev. It was something like that.
Yeah.
But they were so far away. But 9 is incredible. I know on the one hand people will go, well, doesn't that sort of sum up how rubbish the championship is? Well, no, actually, because it just means that so much can happen, and my God, does it not keep you on your toes? It's great to see, you know, so many drivers that could still win it. And you know, London again. I think having finales on these sort of circuits is always the best way, because whilst you might not get the sort of racing that a Berlin or a Madrid is going to provide, it's such a test of nerve going around London. You know, just think back to when Mitch, was it twice he failed on the loops for attack mode and things like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a real test of mettle. So I think circuits like that are the best way to win a championship. So for me, London is going to be almightily tense.
Yeah, definitely. Right, I feel like we've kept people waiting long enough to have their say. So let's get Alex in. Alex, you are on the FE bar. Can you hear us? Can we hear you? You have to unmute. If you can, unmute. If you can't, we'll drop you back. Oh, hello? Hello!
Oh.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, excited after last Sunday.
Yeah, what do you make of Tokyo? What do you want to talk about?
Well, about a little bit about my man Nick Cassidy is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he had a fantastic weekend, getting the third on Saturday, second on Sunday. By process of elimination, he's winning the first race of London, yeah?
I I hope it does. I
Yeah.
really hope it. I still have faith on him winning the championship, honestly.
Yeah, he is still mathematically in the fight, but he is quite a way out. So how, like, but the thing is that this season it was never like truly the thing for Nick to, right, okay, we're gonna win the championship day one. It was all about getting his feet underneath the table, ready for Gen 4. So how impressed have you been with this season? Because obviously he had that win in Mexico City as well. So his first year at Citroen has been a fairly positive one.
Well, I have to say that after Mexico, I was a little bit hyped. So when he started getting zeros, my hype went down. I started thinking realistically he couldn't win this title. Then the Paul Ninjarama came and these two podiums, apart from Berlin. So I think it's a really good season for Cassidy. Having an account, he's on a new team.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you make of Tokyo overall? I know that like with Nick, like getting those two podiums, especially in the week that we've had. We didn't mention at the top of the show, but obviously we had that horrible news last week that unfortunately we lost Cyril Blaze, the team principal of Citroen. So that was a really fantastic tribute that Nick was able to pull out to get on the podium both days.
Yeah, it was a really good tribute. And also I think really well played strategically by Cassidy and Citroen in both races, extending that attack mode to the last minutes, especially in the second one. They also played good with Jeff backing up, so I think it was really good. The winners, well, they were untouchable, so I can't say anything more. They did the best they could.
Yeah, and also with Citroen, like their qualifying hasn't been amazing over the course of the year. So to get into the duels with both cars on Saturday and be close to the duels again on the Sunday, like that must have been that must have been quite motivating from that point of view.
Yeah, and for me it was surprising because, well, not that surprising because lately drivers who qualify but get good results, see the Shanghai 2 podium. So I think strategy was really crucial on Cassidy's podium and Jeff's results. Still, I don't know why Jeff wasn't penalized after the Tokyo 2 red flag infringement.
Yeah, that is something that we should probably ask Toby. Do you know what? I've had a crazy day and I haven't had enough time to like properly think about anything and just and the problems that we had this evening is just so yeah. This is a very unhinged FE bar, but yeah,
Is it going to go any other way without me, Jack?
Yeah.
Is it going to go any other way?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, don't get me, you are so looking forward to seeing me in London, aren't you?
I'm really looking forward.
Yeah,
I was say I'm looking forward to the predictions being open.
I am as well. It's downstairs. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. That's So yeah, predictions again. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. I think I had one about how many people in the title race. I might have just got it wrong by one or two, and I'm really annoyed. I didn't expect this many to be going into the final race as a title fight. But yeah, Alex, what do you make of the event overall? Because it even though it was wet and wild at times, it still looked fantastic over in Turkey, didn't it?
Well, despite that rain you just mentioned and turn one being practically a pool, I think it was a really good event. Well, race one was kind of saved by pit boost, in my opinion. And in race 2, attack mode carried the race, but it was really good race with good overtakes, with Abu Bakr Al-Buemi killing my man Marty, and well, getting a penalty 6 hours later. At least some justice over there. But I think it was a good event, comparable to last year when we had a crazy second race in the final laps. But I think overall it was pretty good despite that rain.
Yeah. So what are you going to expect? What are you expecting for London then?
Well, from London, I expect that, I don't know, but I think that the front drivers in the championship are going to have the pressure. They have to perform if they want to take it. And I believe that people like Eprix or Cassidy that are doing pretty good on these last races can jump back and be again on championship contention.
Nice. Jack, you got anything to add?
Do you know what? I get that point because, I know that Nick de Vries got a lot of criticism at the start of the season, and I think that was to some extent it was justified. The sort of second half of the season, he's come on really strong, and he has been quite good on these sort of circuits. If he won Monaco, he's now won in Tokyo. There would be no point to bet against him in London. And that Mahindra has been immensely strong in qualifying trim. It's just mostly that it's been Edo. If Nick can sort of dial in a little bit in London in quali, then he's got every chance of, at the very least, ending the season with a very, very good position in the standings. Something that we wouldn't have expected after 3-4 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. Right, Alex, been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
Just one thing.
Go on.
Cassidy Drivers' World Champion, you heard it here first.
I like that optimism. I like that optimism a lot, and hopefully for your sake it comes true. I think Cassidy has had, he's had a couple London heartbreaks over the years, so it would be quite nice to see him. To see him get some redemption. I think it might be a little bit out of the question, but I'd say if you want to put some money on it and try and make some out of it, I wouldn't blame you one bit, because I think you get decent odds on that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, Alex, thank you so much for coming on, and enjoy the final race of the season.
Thank you.
Right.
We'll see you after London.
Right. See you after London. All right. Cheers.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Right. I think let's get Luty on, because I think he had. I think he has come down from the ceiling now, because I think Luty had a very happy Saturday, and then by the time Sunday came around, I think you'd finally fallen down from the ceiling, Luty. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It was quite a thing. I was watching, not at home, but it was at my mom's place, so that was also quite interesting watching a race with her. She doesn't know much about racing, so it was sort of like in the stress of the race and explaining formally and all the things on the TV, what it meant, and being stressful and listening to the team radio. It was just chaos Saturday.
And explaining which drivers to like and which drivers not to like.
That was easy.
Yeah. How happy were you with Saturday then? Because Dan's had such a horrible season, and the vast majority of it has not been his fault, and so he's been shafted over so many times this year, and to finally get that on Saturday, you must have been buzzing.
It was amazing, because this was probably the best race he has done, and also the team has put together in combination, because it was just like, I was listening to the radio and it was just like so focused and in connection with this engineer and giving each other feedback consistently, saving energy in the first part before the pit stops, then doing the pit stop directly when everybody just kept on driving. They went in. Then then already planned to take the tech mode directly, get back past the Citroen, use the energy they saved before the pit stop, and then like because they have the attack mode, they can actually use the energy they have because then they're not overheating the tires as much. So all that was like planned out in the radio messages and stuff like that. And it was just so cool to just hear that whole process of how to attack such a race. Was a bit scary then to see, like, I think he got like to De Vries and some other people that were a bit further back at that point that he had to overtake those also. But yeah, it went really well actually. But yeah, it was just so good to hear the whole process and the connection with the team.
Yeah, and speaking about team radios, there was a very interesting team radio that we got in the words of Dan Ticktum, about 6 or 7 laps before the end, and where he said that he'd be happy to stick behind Jake Dennis and that don't defend too much because like he's happy sitting there. Were you surprised to hear that radio message come from him? Because I mean, maybe it is just we look at the Dan Ticktum of old, and I know that there's lots of stuff online that people always like to bring up his past and everything. But that was such a mature, level-headed comment midway through the race from Dan that he was just content with second place.
The whole race was like organized and structured. So no, it was actually not really surprising after listening to the whole race and how that was built up. Like, and also just thinking about how the season is, second place would be really good at this point. But also the things that were shown on TV on the radio were not the whole radio messages; they were just snippets of it. Because he also said that, of course, he would take a chance if there was like a big opportunity or a mistake happened or anything. He wasn't just gonna fall back, and so it wasn't just like I'm not gonna overtake, no way, but it was like we need to work together to keep Cassidy behind. So it was said in that context, and yeah, it was just really planned out. In the end, Jake didn't get the message, and Cassidy still got totally on the tail of them. So it basically panned out as the race would have done if it wasn't said. But it's it was. I wasn't really surprised by the comments. Really, it was just really it looked like the logical thing to do, and those 6-7 laps that were there helped with getting the energy back because he spent just a bit more, I think, than Jake at the point that Jake got past. So yeah, it really helped in the end to not get walk to the end of the energy at the last lap. So it really worked out really well and was really good.
Yeah, and then obviously that the radio message that came through on the final lap that said, "Okay, don't do anything." Only make a move if something happens. But then something did happen.
Yeah, the car stopped accelerating on the straight, so then you go past. So it's not that weird. But also that message was on the radio, but that was not literally from at that point. That was already from laps before. So it's like, it's a bit cherry picked what you hear on television. But I think like the commentators, or at least like Nikki after the race, directly said like that Jake went into the energy, that the energy was gone at Jake's car and stuff like that. So they tried to add some context.
Yeah, I was on our watch alongs with Josh Birch, and you can see like the utter sheer disbelief when that happened, because obviously from like in the moment we didn't know that there was a power cut in Jake's car, and so the vast majority of people have gone, wow, has he actually just done that after saying all of that? And so there was a bit of misconception for a few laps before, thankfully, everything was kind of cleared up about, about that. But
also I think what added to that was that I don't think they broadcasted the message that he said that he would, of course, take a chance if something big comes up. I don't think that was broadcasted on TV, but I was a bit occupied with telling my mom how things worked, listening to the radio, watching the TV, that I may have missed that on the television broadcast. But yeah, it's it was a bit of a shame. Also, if you saw some of the reaction online, people have really. I don't know how people's brain work in that way, that they think that they can go into someone's social post and post stuff like they did at times. But yeah, even if he broke his word, some of the things written were ridiculous.
Yeah, you couldn't imagine people on social media attacking other people for things they don't completely understand. It's unheard of. You never see that anywhere.
No, it's really weird
Yeah.
how people do that.
But yeah, Jack, anything to add on it?
Can I have a bit of a? Can I go on a bit of a rant? Have I got license?
Go on. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I find it really bizarre that there has been so much talk about the possibility of Dan Ticktum not having a seat next year, because I find it entirely ludicrous. You know, there is a lot of context in Formula E. If you look at the championship standings, it doesn't always reflect exactly how things have gone down. So if you look at it and you haven't watched a race, you're going to put 2 and 2 together and come up with 5 most of the time. Now, undeniably, Dan's position in standings is not as good as last season's, and there is a myriad of factors to that. The fact that, he's been unlucky. The team, I think, on a lot of occasions have done things that have, contributed towards him having a result far worse than what he should have got. And he's made his own mistakes, and I know he's admitted that. But you look at some of the things that he's capable of in one of these cars. I find it incredulous that there is a possibility he wouldn't be in a seat next year. It was hard to it would have been quite a feat to have come second on Saturday. I know he benefited from Jake's power cut and all of that, but he won the race. It's not a coincidence that he took 2 poles in Monaco in quick succession. The second pole specifically, I think, was probably the most impressive. I know Da Costa made a mistake, but it was not a mistake worth the amount of time that Dan ended up getting pole by.
100%.
So I think that it's unbelievable to think that there is a world in which Dan Ticktum might not be in Formula E next season. There are things occasionally to iron out, but unfortunately for Dan, I think a reputation which he should have quite rightly shrugged off a good few years ago sort of stuck to him like mud, and that's a shame, because he is a very, very good driver. The breadth of talent in the Formula E grid is very, very good. And I know, with all due respect to David Beckman, he's got a stronger teammate in Pepe this season too. But he's had 2 seasons now where he's had an above average car when he spent the entirety of the rest of his Formula E career in a below average car. And in that time, he's been able to show that he really is worthy of the sort of talent that he talks himself up as having. He's able to back it up most of the time. So, on that level, I was very pleased that he managed to get a win under his belt, because I think that, he's deserved it after, on balance this season. And I think that whether it is with Kiro or it's not with Kiro, there is a team out there that should be able to snap him up, because I think that you'd be hard pressed to find a driver as talented as that, particularly like on their day.
Yeah, 100%. Luty, have you what do you make of that?
Yeah, I fully agree with what has been said. I think Kiro should just sign at this point. Like, just get on with it. But if they don't, I think Lola should really be looking at Dan, because they need somebody with experience next to him, next to Sane. I think so. I would think Lola would be the place to go. And Vision maybe long term if Buemi also needs to retire at one point. So maybe that's maybe a long term thing. That could be a thing. But it's like Jack said, it's just ridiculous in a way, because he's been so fast. If you look at qualifying this year, also on Sunday, really good qualifying. Team makes decision together with Dan, but mainly the team, for the tire strategy. Doesn't work out. It's like a lot of those races has happened, and also a lot of crashes that were not his fault. One questionable one, and one that was definitely his fault. It's like it's not really a poor season in that way, in speed wise. And you would think for Gen 4, with points in qualifying, with hopefully less luck involved with saving strategies and stuff like that, you actually want a driver that can qualify well, that's fast, and that can go for it. Because if you look at where Pepe is doing in qualifying compared to Dan, it's a massive difference. I would be really surprised if he wouldn't have a seat in a way, because he really has the talent too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's also marketing. Like the F2 guys have a lot of followers and make a lot of people happy with their followers and the amount of likes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I will look at how rammed Madrid was, and I don't want to say that was all Pepe Marti, but it was quite a lot Pepe Marti. And like and coming from F2 to FE, I still get goosebumps about thinking about that. Just the bank side at Madrid this year looked absolutely insane with the amount of people that were there. So looking forward to seeing hopefully something similar at Brands next year. But yeah, we'll have to see. Luti, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm glad you had a fun weekend. And you're going to be in London as well, right?
Definitely going to be
fantastic. Right, we will see you in. Right, we will see you in London.
Yes, see you there. Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Cheers, Luti. Ta-ra.
Bye, Luti.
Right, let's get Mazur on. Mazur, you're on the FE bar. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Microphone check.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you?
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm fine. I think I jinxed Mortara from our last conversation in Shanghai. Bigged him up. I shouldn't have done that.
To be fair, he had a good qualifying on both days.
But
that's it.
Last FE bar, George Mania and Kyle were on the bar. And I bigged up. There was a separate clip where I was talking about that Mortara could be a potential threat to Evan's title charge. And then he had an absolute stinker in Shanghai, and he got the pole. He got some points. He hacked some points in Tokyo. But now I'm looking at the points tally and I'm thinking, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said. I've spoken too much. He's 30 points adrift from the championship.
Mathematically, it's still game on.
I know. I was doing the math. I brought out the calculator, posted and described everything on the Discord chat, that what the points tally calculations are. 9 drivers are separated by 52 points. There are 58 points up for grabs. So there's not, like, you have to think about, I don't know, I think there are 26 or 32 possible mathematical scenarios to determine who can be a champion, who can be the eventual champion. So in Tokyo's first race on the FE stat book, I wrote Mitch Evans as a depleted driver because he had a stinker in Shanghai, and then he pulls off 4th. So I was like, okay, great. Relief. I wrote Da Costa, Dennis, and Wehrlein as the top 3 podium finishers. The top 3 podium finishers were Ticktum, Dennis, and Cassidy. So yeah, there goes those predictions didn't go well, but I was happy that Mitch got a P4. Now, the thing that I just wanted to say is, first of all, Ticktum, if he doesn't get a seat next season, it will be the biggest shock of the Formula E team news. Because I don't think Cooper Kira, after his win in Tokyo, can afford to actually think of replacing Ticktum. Because how much is it worth replacing a driver, a potential race winner, for PR reasons, when someone like him can actually give you a buffer in the manufacturer points? Because now what I'm thinking is, if Kiro replaces Ticktum with another driver of their choice, then I'm thinking Porsche might have a say, because they need a driver like him to give them the buffer in the manufacturer's points. There's got to be something that Porsche might be thinking, the second Porsche team. Because if Ticktum goes to another team, he has Porsche technical knowledge over 2 seasons, and he might carry that to a rival manufacturer like Jaguar, like Mahindra, like Lola, even Nissan as a whole. There's that.
Yeah, I'm trying to look in chat just to see, because I can't remember who said it, but someone said that the reason why Porsche won the manufacturer's title was because Dan and Jake got a 1-2 on the Saturday, because Porsche had a stinker. Wehrlein didn't get any points, and Muller got a small amount of points on Sunday. As Toby explained earlier on, he pitted for the dry tyre setup, and was able to capitalise then. But Porsche.
It's that point where Porsche will really now be thinking about, in my opinion, Ticktum's got to be on Porsche's radar if he's not on Kiro's radar. So I'm thinking about how the rival manufacturers might bank on this with the whole. And one thing I've learned after watching Formula E for a number of years now is that with respect to Dan Ticktum, I've learned that the media and the internet has a way of painting an image of a driver no matter what he does. Like across the internet, there's they create a sentiment that this driver is blah 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 this bad, so he's not considered to be accepted no matter what. If a driver other than Ticktum pulled that move on Dennis, like someone like a Roland or even Evans or Costa, people would accept that, okay, that was like a strategy move, even if they mistook and then the news came out that Dennis had the power cut. But because it's Dan Ticktum, it's exclusively with Ticktum I've seen that he's gone into these social media ruckus. He even when it came out on his own Instagram and had to clarify that this was because there was a power cut, so his message wasn't relayed. He had to clarify that. And I think that, I feel bad for the guy. I'm not saying that I'm like a diehard fan of him, but I just really appreciate for what he stands for, and hope that he gets his seat. I hope that Dan has a seat for next season. I hope Mahindra retains their 2 drivers for next season. I hope Penske have something to say for next season. I hope that
I just hope Penske have something to say full stop. They've had an absolute shocker. I know that Barnard was leading midway through the race, but an amazing stat that I only found out halfway through the weekend, because obviously Ticktum won on the Saturday, which means that only DS Penske and Envision haven't won a race this year. The other 8...
No. Envision. Oh yeah.
Envision haven't won a race this year.
Okay.
Buemi won in Monaco last year.
Monaco raced.
I have got the. No, they haven't. So Seb's win in Monaco last year was the last one.
Win.
I know Joel arguably should have won in Shanghai, and I'm having to pay for that. But
wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you had to pay for that?
He got a podium, so I have to do an interview in Swedish in 2.5 weeks' time, and I am not ready for that. So that's going to be exciting.
I'm here trying to amp my Italian in the Duolingo app. You better start
Yeah.
amping in the Duolingo
Oh
app.
yeah,
for
no,
Swedish.
I'm just over 100 days on Swedish Duolingo, but I am also going to
Okay.
text my dear friend Linus Karp, who is from Borås in Sweden, and
Sweden. Okay.
get some. Yeah.
The Joel Eriksson. You have to make sure you're fully prepared for your Swedish the day Joel Eriksson tops the podium.
Yeah,
That's for
well, no,
sure.
I have to be ready for it in 2.5 weeks' time because I just said podium. I should have said win, and then I'd be off the hook. But
Oh.
and it's official because Toby Vert said it in commentary in Germany.
Oh
But
God.
yes, yeah,
Oh,
he did.
God.
He sent me the clip of him saying it. So
Okay.
thanks, Toby, much appreciated.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So talking about is my construction is that I do not want to predict who's gonna win the driver's title because every time I do, I seem to jinx it for the driver.
That's fair.
To be honest, Hart says Mitch Evans to win the title, if God willing. But then again, Jaguar are I'll never forget Portland and London 2024, the penultimate and the
Oh
finale.
yeah,
I watched it like a hawk. I can never forget the Cassidy spin on
Yeah.
Portland race 1, the penultimate lap, when behind him Evans with a broken front wing. I'll never forget Portland London race 1 and 2. Race 1 where Jaguar certainly had some sort of technical issues and Cassidy wasn't ready. The next day, Cassidy couldn't do the FP1 session because they had to repair, and it was directly on qualifying. Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, if you remember, like the Jaguar powertrain, analysts on the media will say the Jaguar cars are like the best at London. But we all remember London 2024.
yeah. Honestly, I will say Cassidy sticking it on pole after having to sit out the full FP3. That is one of the greatest Formula E moments. Like my jaw was on the floor when he got pole position. It was incredible.
I was watching that clip on YouTube, the short clip, and I commented, and everyone was commenting. Moments before disaster, just a couple of weeks ago. Like it was basically moments before disaster. Nobody would have predicted that was coming. And I hope the Jaguars car has proper sensors this time, because I hope when Mitch goes for his second attack mode, or Da Costa have their second attack mode, I hope it works, and most importantly Evans himself doesn't miss the attack mode this time. So it's a question of there will be the added pressure. I don't want to predict much about what will happen. I hope that this time they will definitely know what tire pressures they're gonna set up, and the forecast. What's the forecast for London?
Well, I can tell you that half the circuit will be dry throughout the entirety of the race, purely because unless someone gets out there with a bucket of water, it's under a roof. So should be okay there. I've got no idea. I think it's a little bit too far out for us to look at it because it is over 2 weeks away. Usually we get like a 10-day weather forecast. So if it was 2 weeks away, we get a little bit of an idea. But because it's 3 weeks away, we can't really see too much. Mazur, just before we let you go, I know you don't want to give a prediction, but can we get an update on your bingo card? Because I know that you've been giving us some updates over the course of the year. Have there been any more that you've got from this weekend? How many do you need to get for London?
I have a lot. Mitch Evans wins an Asian race. That bingo is out. That's cut out. He didn't win an Asian race.
He didn't. No.
Barnard wins a race first time. That was close in the last race in Tokyo.
If it stayed wet.
It's not stayed wet. Any race, like basically a race. He hasn't won.
Yeah.
So there's that. I haven't been able to cross out any. But Mahindra Racing top 3 in constructors. Mahindra is 1 point behind Andretti in the teams. The teams championship.
It's close,
It's close. I wrote heaviest rain in an E-Prix. Was Tokyo the heaviest rain in an E-Prix?
I think it's the heaviest rain we've probably ever seen, but it didn't take part during the session, so I'm not. So I think we just let chat decide on that one whether the
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, one last thing. With respect to the all the weather climate influenced races we had this season, do you think, and this is a question to Jack Smith as well, do you think Formula E needs to open a job? Formula E teams need to have a job position for meteorologists. Meteorologist.
That's a great. Well, in Formula One, they have it. They have people checking the radars and stuff. So surely Formula E
Yeah.
should have the same thing, shouldn't they?
I mean,
do Formula One teams not just employ people, then send them to stand it? So like this weekend, they would have had someone standing downtown Budapest just to tell them what the weather's doing, and then they would have had someone halfway up the Danube because they have the money to kill.
Literally just had a very sort of much more technological version of something going like this.
This is
Exactly.
what I was thinking. Like I'm thinking, why don't Formula E teams, like I think I proposed a whole new job employment market that
there would sorry,
meteorologists would be you go.
Yeah, sorry, no. I just want to say there was one year, and I can't remember which year it was, where Jack Nicholls, back when it was when he was on commentary, was getting texts from his mates of where it was raining, and so there was a mate in like Watford, like a mate in Watford texted him saying, "Yeah, it's raining heavy," and then I think that he had just like people from like all over the UK just text him, just like, "Yeah, it's raining here." It's like too far away. I think someone texted him from like Dublin, Ireland or something like that. It's absolutely fine in Dublin, Ireland. There's nowhere near London. But yeah. So yeah, but I like that idea though.
Yeah, imagine teams paying meteorologists to help determine their races, their tire pressures, the environmental factors, and everything. It is trying to prove an environmental element as a sport. So I think it kind of makes sense that Formula E teams start looking at environmentalists as an element. I'm saying this as someone with a background in mechatronics engineering, that the environment and the climate kind of dictates the outcome of a race, like what I saw with Roland overtaking Evans and getting away with it despite Evans having the attack mode, because Roland had the dry tire pressure setup. And then again, you will see Jaguar Nissan, this is how they overtook us, and then they will basically give the tire pressures to their two drivers and then miscalculate that, it's actually a wet race. We shouldn't have said the dry tire pressures. This is where I think that we should start thinking about meteorologists in the team. That's just a suggestion. If Formula E watches this clip and they start picking on the idea of having meteorologists, I better be paid for this.
Yeah. Get some commission in or something like
that.
There is another potential option. I'll throw it back to Sao Paulo last season. It bucketed down on the Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And the forecast predicted that it was probably going to be a wet race. We all looked at the time, it was going to get too dark to race. We all accepted there was a possibility that the race was going to get called off. On the Friday, they did a press conference where Jeff Dodds very kindly explained that a local superstition to keep rain from falling is to put eggs in your windowsill. Don't know why that's just gone.
Cool effect, man.
I love that. Happy birthday, everyone. Sorry, go on.
Wait, could you repeat what you said?
So Jeff Dodds did a press conference and he made a joke about how it's a local tradition in Brazil to put eggs in your windowsill. It's like a superstition to keep the rain from falling. And the rain didn't fall, and we had a dry race. So I just feel like if every team goes to their local farm shop, gets enough eggs, puts them in the garage somewhere, we will have dry races forevermore, surely.
I'm sitting here thinking did Formula E just have loads of eggs for the first 5 seasons? Because we didn't get a wet race until Paris season 5 or something. But but yeah,
Didn't we go
I
for
think
eight
I think it's a
months now?
superstition that, like, my superstition is if someone has balloons go over the top of their screen, we're going to have a fantastic season finale in London. That's
Okay.
that's my superstition.
Superstition can only get you so far. Nothing trumps science and engineering
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah.
It's a scientific sport. We gotta keep it logical.
Yeah, no, but
Formula E was
I
developed.
do really like that idea though. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
something.
Logic and Formula E ever gone hand in hand?
Yeah, no.
What
I
has
don't
gone
think it
hand
really
in hand?
has. Logic and
What has gone
Formula
hand-
E. Logic and Formula E have never gone hand
Logic
in
and-
hand. No.
Well, the technological logic, not the race logic
Yeah.
or the game logic. The technological logic. That's what we need. Anyway, okay. Well, I gotta
Yeah.
make room for the next contestant.
Yes. Yeah. No. Thank you for coming on, Monsieur, and hopefully you get some more of those boxes ticked off for London as well. I know obviously one
we
of them
will
you
see-
can't, but yeah.
We will see it and have this discussion after London. Let's
Right.
see.
Brilliant. Thanks, Monsieur. Thanks for coming on. We will see you after London.
London.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Right. So we're going to take a small break, mainly because I've run out of water, and so I'm going to get more water. So we're going to take a little breather. It's going to be short, but we are going to run till 10:30 tonight, just because we started a little bit later. So don't worry if you haven't come on yet. We will make sure that we have room for everyone. Also, after the break, I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight about the annual Formula E Zone meetup in the XL. Woo! See you in a bit. There's a button. We are back. There we go. I think we should all be back. That looks like that it's working. Thanks for sticking with us. It's been a bit of a hectic show, but we are going to hear from you guys now. Let's hear from someone who's probably going to be very happy because as it stands, Jake Dennis is heading into London as the championship leader. Hello, Chris.
Hello. How are we doing, gents?
Good. How are you?
Oh, well, very well after that weekend.
Yeah, it's really
Very well.
really solid weekend for you, man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as I said, I'm glad Jack Geo's just joined the thing because it was actually after Sanya that I said he's going to be in this title fight.
Yeah.
And he completely ripped me off, said no chance.
Yeah. Well, his form has been phenomenal. Obviously, he won the opening race of the year, but then it kind of fell off. But his form the last 3 weekends at least have been absolutely stellar.
Yeah, 80 points he got.
That's mental.
So that's over half his points, significantly over half his points that he's got in the last 5 races, and that includes a 16th place in Shanghai Race 2. So he actually got it over 4 races.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane. It's incredible what he's managed to do, and yeah, I'm genuinely just sure. I say I called it, but I'll take the credit for that one.
Yeah, fair dues. Yeah. How? I mean, were you gutted about the final lap and him getting that cut, or are you just happy for him to take the second place because he was outscoring his rivals considerably that race and on Sunday as well, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, no, it was one of those where, like, obviously it was paid for when it was on. Obviously, I was listening directly to his radio, so thankfully, obviously because delays and all that with the TV, I obviously heard him swear, which I won't repeat, and then say power cut.
Fair enough.
So I knew from the start, it's like, because obviously I was expecting to hear some cheers, and it didn't happen. Just hear him moaning about power cut. So yeah, I was obviously gutting, and yeah, the red flag on the Sunday. I think we could argue whose fault the Saturday was, but I think that could be driver error, could be team error. Obviously not reporting, but they did not tell Jake. I listened to the entire radio, the entire race. I have no idea where they got that radio message from that they played on the television. Yeah. No idea, because it was not on. It was not on. It was not on the radio. Not any time near there.
Interesting that. I will just point out that Chris Wharton's just put in chat. Learn not to listen to George Mayner. He stopped me putting a bet on Dennis each way, which would have won me a lot of money. Yeah. To be fair, yeah. He's a man that knows least about Formula E than anybody. Yeah, and yet he hosts this show. Not today, but
not today though. No.
Yeah,
today.
It's still double jack, but not necessarily the one that you're expecting. In both seats today.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's a switch over.
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, I'm going to say this though. Full credit to Felipe as well. Like, I genuinely, obviously, these results of the run for Jake would not have happened without the increase in form from Felipe.
And Felipe's been rewarded for his good results with a year contract extension, which is going to be the first time that Jake's going to have a teammate for more than one season. Do you think that going into Gen 4, that consistency and Jake having someone alongside him that he knows will help him considerably going into Gen 4?
Well, even better, that's the first time Andretti have ever kept a lineup.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. It's the first time they've ever kept a lineup.
Yeah, no, probably.
From the last race to the last race of the season, the first race of the season. They've never kept a lineup.
Yeah, because obviously Jake's won it for every season. Jake replaced Simsy. Yeah, the year before, that was when Costa left,
Yeah.
and then Andretti in Gen 1 is a free for all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's not even get to season 1.
No, that's
No,
how rare it was. And as I said to you, obviously chatted to them in Berlin on the Friday. Obviously, this before Felipe had any points. Like, they were keeping him.
yeah.
They were keeping him. Like, the results say, obviously, we can argue off the results all the way back there. He's absolutely turned it around. As say, chatting with Team Masters on a Sunday, obviously, that post that, do you remember the post, call back, the post that Kiro put on there saying, obviously, that Andre had no double point scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, now Felipe is above both Kiro drivers.
Yeah. Hang on, I did get the championship table up. Where is he? He's 11th in the championship. He's only 10 points behind Sebastian Buemi. And that is Buemi and Drogovic are the top two in the championship who can't win the championship. So that's not bad as a proper rookie season goes.
No, and as I say, I do need to get my Excel out and actually try and understand. If you draw a line from his first points in Berlin, where would he stand? Because that'd be quite interesting. Because
definitely.
As I say, there is a bit of a gut in my mind a bit of those words in some sort of order that Felipe is going to challenge Dennis next year for number one in the team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that sounds about right. I think technically year two and a bit. But yeah, he's properly come on strong. Jack, what have you made of Felipe's first proper season?
I think he's been fantastic. I mean, being teammate of Jake Dennis is, I think, statistically about as difficult as being teammates with Max Verstappen. So having Jake Dennis in that other car is quite an unsettling thought. If you think of all the talented drivers that have come, before that, he's done remarkable. He's done a remarkable job. I know we saw how good he was in Berlin in the Mahindra when he did his little cameo last season. So I wasn't entirely surprised. But there always seems to be this very, very one-sided sort of dominion within Andretti. It's always Jake who just beats everybody. So I've been mightily impressed with him, and I think that he's, I think that, to be honest, if I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if an F1 seat was opening up for him at some point in the next couple of years, but he'd have to weigh it up because he could just remain in Formula E and probably just grow and grow and grow, similarly to how Taylor Barnard did. So I think that Felipe's been one of the sort of revelations of the season. I would say him and Pepe.
Yeah, well, I'd say Pepe. Pepe started off with a bang, literally.
Yeah.
But when was Pepe's first point scoring? I'm trying to think.
I can tell you, it was this second race in Mexico City. It was Mexico City.
I had a feeling. What did you have decent points scoring? Was it like 5th or 6th or something?
He's 7th. You're so close.
Yeah.
But yeah, since then, when he's finished the race, which is all but Monaco 2 and obviously Sunday, he's finished in the points every single time with the exception of 3 occasions. And for a rookie campaign, that is still really good. Like, to put it in perspective, there's 3 points between Pepe Marti and Felipe Drogovic. We're hyping up Felipe Drogovic because since Berlin, he's come alive. So he didn't score on the Saturday in Berlin, but Sunday in Berlin he got 9th. He then went 4th, 2nd, 5th, 4th, 6th, and then he had a shocker this weekend. But yeah, to go 6 races on the trot with winning 1 pole in Shanghai, a podium in Monaco, should have really been another podium in Sanya, but got that penalty. I can't remember what for, but I remember him getting a penalty. But yeah, he's been really solid to score all these 65 points in a 6-race streak. That's really good from Felipe.
Yeah, well, hey, if you could imagine if he started that form at the start of the season, like Andre could be top of the teams right now.
Well, yeah, you basically, because we've had 15 rounds, and he came good in what was
It was
round
Berlin race
8.
2 with this,
Yeah,
Berlin
round
race 2
8.
was
So you
the point.
basically times it by 2. You times it by 2, you get to 130 points, which would put him 16 behind Jake, and with a realistic shot at winning the championship in London. So, yeah.
Let's say, and controversy. It's a shame they go to Nissan next year because apparently the Nissan. I say Jack might put a face here, but apparently the Nissan powertrains aren't as powerful as the Porsches.
I don't think we can judge anything until we see it later on. But yeah, I'm not gonna say anything until we get to pre-season testing. But even in pre-season testing, we'll probably get it wrong somehow because it's so unpredictable Formula E that honestly there have been times where I've been on the watch-alongs with Josh Birch and he's asked me to pick a winner, and what I've done is I've opened the book to the qualifying grid in the book. By the way, I mean it hasn't been mentioned in a while, but Formula E's don't have a book out, so yeah, buy the book because I don't think it's been mentioned long enough. So Book Shack, there we go. Tick. Jack will be pleased.
Yeah, now he's awake because I think he's up now. By the looks
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, he's up. He's in the chat. He'll be joining us a little bit later on as well to dispel everything from. He'll be wrapping up everything from Tokyo.
What is it? 5:30 over there?
It is. Yeah, it's 5:30.
Yeah.
I don't know what hours he's been working because he's been up at like 7 o'clock that time, even though that the race is the race has been starting at 8 p.m. I don't understand his logic, but he's yeah, but that's something we'll have to put to him in a little bit. But
absolutely.
What before we let you go, what are you looking forward to London? I know that you're going to be there, but what are you expecting? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I was going to say is obviously if Jake does achieve in London, which I can't see why he wouldn't, given as I said, you had Spania, Tokyo, London, are the 3 tracks that the 3 that he's obviously Spania first time, but Tokyo and London these sort of tracks that he's strong on. But London is a qualifying one. That's my only worry.
Yeah.
So,
but he's
could go either way.
But he's good in London. He's got form there. And I know that was a few years ago now, but I mean, to be fair, I think he's back to the Jake Dennis that we saw in season 9 now. I think there were a couple years where he just wasn't I'm not sure whether his head was gone or something, but he wasn't the Jake Dennis that won the championship in season 9. Now he is the Jake Dennis that won the championship in season 9 again.
Yeah, and honestly, do I make the bold prediction that he wins it in the first race?
Well, it's mathematically possible. I wouldn't say that
I
because
wouldn't put any money on it.
He needs to win and get pole or the point for. Actually, no, I don't think the point even does it.
That wouldn't be enough.
No, it's 3. Yeah,
he would have to win and pole. He'd have to
win and pole would have to be it. Yeah, but yeah.
So in a pit boost race,
and Evans doesn't score and Verline comes 10th or something. So yeah, it's a long shot, but yeah.
Well, to be fair, it was a long shot when I said after Tanya that he's going to be in the title fight. So
yeah. To be fair,
I was going to say if he gets that and Andrea gets teams, my God, I mean that's a long shot with them being
limbs.
What are they? 44 points? No, 40. No, what are they? 40 points behind?
Yeah.
Hey, that's less than Cassidy has to make up. Correction, no, 46. It is more.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility, but it's a little way out.
But I
I will say one of my predictions was a constructor prediction, and I don't think it's going to come true. So, but yeah, we will see. Well, I'm fairly certain it's not going to come true, but we will see in London. But yeah, we will see you in London then,
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'll see you, gents, in London. Hopefully it's a dry one.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be dry anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a dry one, and then we can have as many dry ciders after the race.
Oh, absolutely. I will join you for a cider after the race. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. All right. We will see you in London, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
No worries. See you, gents.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.
Right. I'm gonna get Johnny in now because he messaged me earlier saying that he can only do a certain amount of time, and now that he's in the chat, we'll give him 5 minutes. So yeah, Johnny, you're on the bar. Thanks for coming on. Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you guys clearly. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic.
Hi, both the Jacks.
Yeah. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah.
I feel like I've got an idea.
Yeah. First of all, let me send my heartfelt condolence to the family of Cyril Blaze and the entire Citroen team. I remember him being a race engineer with Mahindra. He started like his career with Mahindra, so we have a really soft spot for him. So yeah. Secondly, congratulations to Dan for his win in the first race. He is one of the most underrated driver, I feel. Although I'm not his big fan, but still, credit is, you have to give credit where it is due, you know. So I think he's mostly misunderstood in his conversations on the radio, and his talent is mostly ignored. So I think he is one of the fastest drivers on the grid, and it will be foolish for Kiro to lose him, you know, next year.
Yeah.
And thirdly, Jake Dennis and Andretti. Andretti has like one of the best turnarounds, I think so, of the season. They have, the form is so good. I think so. Most probably, Jake Dennis has a very good shot at the driver's title this year. You know, nobody even thought that he would be in a title fight like in the initial races. You know, but now, like with the form that he has shown and Andretti has shown, I think he has a very, very good chance. Apart from Evans and one line.
With Jake Dennis, obviously he won that first race in Sao Paulo, but I've got the positions up in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 races. My counting's really coming on, guys. His best result was a 5th.
Yeah,
and that happened on 2 occasions. Had a handful of 6 as well, and then a 9th, a 10th, and then 3 races outside the points. So. Yeah, he'd gone from So he won the he won the first race to such a middle part of the season, and actually these last few rounds, with the exception of Shanghai, which was a little bit dicey, but Shanghai 2, sorry, he got a podium in Shanghai 1. But he's really come on.
Yeah, that's what I think so. Andretti has been like most anonymous, like in the first part of the season. If you go to see, it was always like Porsche and Mahindra and Jaguar in the limelight during those races, you know. So yeah, for them to turn around their season like this drastically, I think if they had done it like before, they would have also been in a title fight for the construction title along with Porsche. They have won the manufacturer with them. They have won the manufacturer with Porsche, but they would have also been with the construction title, you know, constructor title.
Yeah, definitely.
Then
we need. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, thirdly is I have a apology for Nick DeVries for what I had said earlier, you know, about him, if you remember.
He has had the most kind of Jekyll and Hyde kind of season. The first half of this year was, I have such a soft spot for Nick DeVries. He's a really lovely guy. He's one of my favourite people in the paddock. I love having a chat with him. His first part of the year was so much promise and so little reward.
Yes.
And then he's going to finish this year with 2 wins at least.
Yeah.
And he, like, genuinely, he is mathematically in the title fight, which I think if you'd told me that even before this weekend that Nick De Vries was going to be in the title fight going to London, I would not have believed you. Because he's had such a topsy-turvy season that, it's crazy to think that that's happening.
I think he had something at the Le Mans victory race which turned his season around. Maybe he had some special kind of champagne or something over there. Because since his Le Mans win, his form has been like on the top,
Yeah.
And Edo, I don't know what to say about Edo. Edo is, I think so, jinxed by someone. I don't know.
Well, Missouri openly admitted that it was him. Missouri openly admitted that he was the one that jinxed Edo Mortara. So if you want to point the blame at anyone, go for him. He's happy to admit it.
No, I don't think so, because he did it in Sania. But if you see Edo's results from the start of the season, he's always been like the top qualifier, but never like had a win for Mahindra. Even though the package was so good with him. But still, during the races, he had some or the other issue, or the strategy was screwed up, or he had some collision or something with other people. Something or the other had to go wrong with him, And this, Sanya and Shanghai and Tokyo were supposed to be the best tracks for Mahindra, and still, you see, Nick got 2 wins, and he hasn't got even 1 win for Mahindra yet. So that tells you something about it,
Yeah, definitely. How do you rate Mahindra's season then? Because like this season's been genuinely really good for Mahindra standards. Edo getting pole on Sunday means that they've got their most ever pole positions in a single season with 4. But it still kind of feels like it was so close and it could have been so much more over the course of this year.
Yeah, I think they have made a big step up after last season. We could see that step up coming for this season as well, when they were getting podiums in last end of the last year, and Edo getting good this results and all at that time. But sadly, next year it's gonna be the full regulations are gonna change, and the car is fully different. I don't know where the development stage is reached yet, because the other ones who have committed to the regulations the last. So I'm really skeptical of them being anywhere near the front. I would love and I would really hope that they are at the front with the people they have. I'm just really wishful thinking that they will be at the front of the grid along with the other people. But realistically, I think they're gonna be at best in the midfield, or maybe at the back. I don't know. So that's my worst fear about them. But this year their form was good. Their form was really good. Only thing is the wins they could not get consistently. They always, and you could hear in their interviews as well. They were never saying, "No, we are going to push for the win." They're always saying, "We want good points. We want good points. Top five. That's it." That killer instinct I didn't find in this season in their voices. So I think I hope they get that killer instinct, like how Porsche has, how Verline has, or how even Roland, even Nissan is not that this, but Roland's instinct. You see how Roland drives the Nissan, and he puts the car in places where it doesn't sometimes supposed to be. So that kind of instinct, you need that kind of instinct in Mahindra as well if they want to win championships.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, anything to add?
Do you know what? It's been such a weird season for Mahindra. Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't surprise me that they've had a good season. It's just a shame that they've not been able to translate what they've done in qualifying into a lot of races. But yeah, I think that I'm always quietly rooting for them to do well, because I as you said, Nick's such a great guy in the paddock, and I also really love talking to Fred, and
Fred's lovely.
Fred's just so legendary. He just he's It's more that I would like them to do well for him than anyone else,
Yeah.
really. But yeah, no, I think it's been a bit, there's been some indifferences, but yeah, I think I hope that they can take something into Gen 4, because at the moment it's not looking entirely positive, but I hope that they were able to sort of find their feet. As you say, Nick's had a weird season where he had a few sort of dodgy races at the start. I think he was at fault for a few incidents, but when he's actually on form, you can see why he's champion material, and has done it in the past. And I think he's been able to just show a bit more consistency in races than Edo. But I hope that the lineup stays the same. I would love to see them sort of keep the faith in the team. And I sincerely hope that that they can end this season on a high, and certainly if there are any difficult waters at the start of Gen 4, that they can overcome them quickly.
Yeah. Right. Johnny,
Yeah.
thank you
Yep.
so much for coming on.
Thanks, mate. One thing I wanted to mention regarding
Go
the regarding the national anthem. It was like both times, like in Monaco also, the drivers forgot that the manufacturer national anthem was about to play. And this in Tokyo, it was weird. Like they played it twice. That's why it was so long for Nick de Vries win. They played it twice. The national anthem of India was played twice. For some people who don't know about it, So just wanted to mention.
My favourite thing is whenever
Okay.
England play Liechtenstein, because Liechtenstein's national anthem uses the same melody as God Save the King. So so you hear the same anthem twice. But yeah, no, Johnny, thank you so much for coming back on the bar, and
All right, mate.
hopefully we will hear from you after London.
Yeah, sure, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Yep.
Right. I've been told that he needs to come on now because he needs to go to the airport afterwards. So, good morning, Tokyo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Just about, yeah.
Just about.
Hang on, I'll try and turn you up. Speak again.
I'm on my phone. Hello.
Yeah, that'll do. Go on. Hang on, lower third.
Hello, everybody. How are you, Jack Smith?
I am very, very well. How are you? You probably must be knackered.
I've had a good sleep, to be fair. I knew I was going to have to be up at this time anyway, because although my plane's been delayed an hour, which is probably better for me, although getting home a little bit later.
Right, you've demanded to come on the bar earlier, and your flight's been delayed.
My flight, yeah, but I still got to go to breakfast. I want to go to breakfast, get something to eat.
Okay, fair.
So I was just trying to squeeze in. I'm only going to be on for about 5 minutes. So yeah, ask me any questions you want.
My first question is, does breakfast open at 6?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you're only on for 5 minutes. You want to be first through that door. No. First question: have you dried out?
I was quite lucky actually. I was in the media center most of it. I knew the rain was coming for FP3 and on the other days, feel it. I was walking in the paddock. First little drops, and like maybe I should go inside. And then by the time I'd walked around through the paddock, I got inside 5 minutes later. It was torrential. Made that decision and didn't get caught in it. Yeah, the weather was a bit odd and off, but yeah, didn't get caught in it per se. Just feel for all the people that were working outside. Obviously, they all came inside, but must have.
Yeah. One thing that someone pointed out earlier, and I should have asked Toby about it, and I forgot, was Jev in the Sunday race when the red flag was flown. He didn't go to the pits. Yeah. Do you have any information on any site? Well, yeah, I know it's brain fade, but was there any reprimand from it? Was there anything that came away from that?
He got a rep. It was a man. It's one for Stewards watch. This one. Because,
I think if it's for Stewards watch, it's about 30 seconds long. It doesn't need much.
Nah, there's a few incidents.
Well, no. I'm saying the Vern one. I'm saying the Vern one is a 30-second.
Well, he got a reprimand and 2 penalties. He didn't lose his 5th place.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't lose his 5th place, but
and arguably you think, well, you make a mistake like that, face some sort of penalty. Even though it was brain fade, he didn't mean to do it. It's an accident, but you're like you just missed the whole red flag. But even if it was brain fade, right, and he went and said sorry, drove. Right, sorry, man. Can't just let you off. But keep your 10 points. You've got to get a 5 second. And then I think maybe it would have been okay.
Yeah.
In those circumstances. But yeah, reprimand 2 penalty points seems a bit. The penalty points make it a tiny bit harsher, but in the grand scheme of things, a little bit soft.
Yeah. What other little tidbits can you tell us from the weekend? Because I know that we've only got a couple minutes with you because you need food. So what other little bits can you tell us from the weekend?
Not a great deal. There wasn't too many paddock rumours in terms of what's going on. I spoke to Russell O'Hagan about Dan Ticktum in an interview that we're going to do. And does he see any long-term future Dan Heyman? The answer was yes. They said that we haven't made any decision yet, and because it's mid-season, it might be the end of our season, but it's mid-season, so they're not rushing to make a decision. I think Dan's helped the case, and Dan seemed oddly confident that something will happen. Although I don't think he's 100% by any stretch of the imagination talking again. But he's been talking to a couple of other teams, made very clear. And then he said there's a few obstacles in 1 or 2 ways, but hopefully they might get cleared. He says he's hopeful. So one of those things going into London is he thinks by London he'll have a clearer idea whether he'll be in Gen 4, and he's feeling more positive, I would say, about his Gen 4 than he was in previous. So on that, I think you're a Dan Ticktum fan. There's hope. At the end of the day, there's hope. And I do think Formula E would be a worse place without Dan. I know Formula E will survive without Dan, but I think Formula E needs Dan. So, which is a weird thing to say. Don't know if Jack Smith will agree. But
oh yes.
You missed it. You'll have to go back and watch it. I think it was about an hour ago that when Lutey was on.
I heard the beginning of that.
Jack just monologued. And Jack, I'll allow you to monologue again. What do you want to fire at Jordan Maynard?
Well, I'll sort of extend on the one I did earlier, which is that and I think in a way, Formula E does need Dan, because Dan is, he's a unique character in that he's a racing driver in this modern age who cares very little about what he says. I mean, he obviously does, and he does try his best to be as diplomatic as he can. But I think that he's done a very clever thing in that he's taken the reputation that to a large extent has been unfairly put upon his shoulders, and he's sort of been able to own it and channel it into something that's made him a very popular driver with fans. I mean, wherever you go in the world, wherever I've gone to a Formula E, Dan's got fans. And I think that is such a big thing for a championship that's always trying to grow. It's really, really necessary to have a character like that, particularly if he is popular as Dan actually is. And then if you combine that with the fact that he is very talented, it's a no-brainer. If Kiro decide to go elsewhere, then another team should do, because I think that he makes up a lot of things about the championship that make it good. The fact that they've allowed him to be himself, and I think that a team, whoever it is, should repay that by making sure that he's on the grid come lights out at the start of Gen 4.
Yeah, I just to be surmise, I just think Kiro let Dan go. biggest mistake of that team, because even though how well Pepe Marti has done this season, he's not qualified anyway. He's not had a chance to pole race. He's not had, and I know he's still learning, still developing, but it doesn't mean if you replace Dan, you're going to find a driver that will do that. And considering that they will have a fourth train, it is going to be. I do think with Dan Ticktum at the helm of that car, that team, if they get their act together with the software, Dan, for everything that he said about the team, and I think where he needs to learn is sometimes just don't say that, put it in the way he speaks about Cooper Kiro. That seat next season, if he's in it, I'm not saying he's a title contender, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wins multiple races.
Yeah.
If
No.
that powertrain good.
Yeah.
Sure that powertrain. We're all assuming.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Right. Do you want to go get some food then?
Yeah, I'll go because you've got a couple of other.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm not sure how much you're aware of everything. So we started a little bit late. I kind of riffed the first 20 minutes with Toby Wirtz. Yeah.
I saw your text message.
Yeah.
Was
But
fine.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
we're going to 10:30 tonight. So yeah.
I was like, what do you want me to do? I was like, what do you want me?
Well, no, I just wanted some pointers, mate. That was like.
I was fast asleep. I wasn't waking up.
Yeah, but also to make sure that you weren't like, hang on, where the hell is this? Because that's exactly what you would have been doing.
No.
But yeah, no. Go get some food. Yeah, go get some food. Safe travels back, and we will see you. We will see you in London.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the show, boys. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job.
See you later, mate.
All right, bye.
Yeah, mate.
Right. So, we've got three to go. We're going to go Ricardo, Saz, then Ed, if that's all right with everyone. So yeah, let's bring Ricardo in now. Ricardo, you're on the bar. Thank you so much for waiting. I know it's been a long one tonight, but yeah. And to be fair, you're not even that happy with this weekend. It's not been a great weekend for you.
Ah, man. Yeah, why did you have to touch in the wound? No, I'm joking, but I mean, yeah, surely. I think this was the weekend where I actually believed that Mr. Da Costa could be well in the championship fight, and he still is mathematically. But I think for London, he will have to play second fiddle to Mitch, I would guess. But yeah, frustrating because pace-wise, he was one of the fastest, if not the fastest in terms of consistency. Sure, there might be some people that on the wheel-to-wheel facts that might not be so happy with Antonio, and it wasn't a clean race. It's both races actually, but yeah, frustrating at the most and not good at the last.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So yeah, you said it there. Do you think it's kind of game out? He still has a fair it's not out of the realms of possibility. He's 33 points behind Jake Dennis as it stands. If he has a good race one in London, he could be right back in there for Sunday. So it's not out of the realms of possibility, but yeah, it just feels like the same place that he's been year in, year out for like the last couple of years, which is just a little bit too far away.
Yeah, and it seems like this year bad luck has been always on his side. I mean, I think the only race he didn't get any bad luck were the races he won, because I mean, of course I'm super biased for Antonio, but I can always see something in any race for Antonio that I would say, okay, if this didn't happen, he would be massively in the championship. It could be even leading, to be honest. I mean, the amount of incidents he had throughout the year. Of course, I'm saying this, but I didn't forget about Mexico. And Mexico, I said it at that FE bar that was the cause's fault. So I'm not counting that as bad luck, but it's still an incident. He lost points still. But then again, he's been there basically all season. Maybe apart from Berlin, I'll say, but the whole season he's been always there. He maybe faltered a bit in qualifying, but didn't make it up in the races. And yeah, to see that the pace is there, the car is there, the team is there with him, and to have always some factor, either team strategy or contact with some other drivers or crash or whatever. That's why my frustration, and like I said, this weekend when I saw, of course I didn't watch the qualifying. Actually, I'd only watched the races this weekend. But when I saw Antonio with good qualifying pace, qualifying P3 and P2, this is a rare thing for Antonio in Gen 3, qualifying well up the front. It's something
he's never had a pole in Gen 3. He's never had a pole. His last pole was Seoul.
Yeah, and the Jaguar actually maybe made Antonio's qualifying a bit better. We saw right away in São Paulo when he topped his group. So, and he basically carried that form basically throughout the whole season. And to see that for some other factor to not getting the points that he deserves most of the times is actually frustrating. But there you go, like you said, it's still 56 points on the table, 33 points behind Jake. So it's not impossible, and seeing historically Jaguar's results in London, not just like at the beginning of Gen 3, but also last year, they were dominant. They were dominant, whereas maybe it was their weakest season in ages. So yeah, that could be positive, and it could bring my hopes up a little bit. But if I had to guess, Mitch is going to be fast as well. Jake is always strong in London, and Pascal these latter seasons has been super good in the closing stages of the season. So yeah, it's all to play for.
Yeah, Jack.
I'll make no secret of the fact that, of course, I do have a really soft spot for Antonio. So I agree entirely with what's been said. I think he is a mightily quick driver, and the consistency is something that he has had, I think, for the last 2 seasons especially. I think he admitted himself that, when he went on that mad run after Mazzano 2 seasons ago and then won, I think it was more races than anyone else that season, but still ended up about P5 in the championship. It was down to the fact that he just couldn't score points in the races where he didn't win. But since then, yeah, he has had a lot of bad luck go his way. It's just really, I think, the qualifying form, as we've touched on, that's the thing that's held him back. Which, is obviously something he's going to have to eradicate for Gen 4. But I think that he's, I wouldn't be surprised if he does have to play the team game for Mitch. I mean, I think it will greatly depend on what happens in probably the first qualifying, the qualifying for race 1 in London. But I think that he'll happily play the team game. Maybe not in the way that Pascal was intimating after race 1 in Tokyo, but I think that I can't speak highly enough of him. I think that he's a fantastic driver, and I think that I think probably on merit, he's a driver that certainly deserves to be in contention coming into this final weekend. So, he's going to have to just go into it as level-headed as I know that he will be, and just see what happens. But Jaguar will have to be on its A game. We know that in London that's not always been the case. If they can do that, then he's got every chance, provided Mitch kind of falls off a little bit. But I think he's going to be happy playing the team game if he has to. He knows Mitch. He likes Mitch. He knows that he kind of was handed Madrid a little bit. So I think he'd be happy to give it back if the circumstances present themselves in that way.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Ricardo, just before we let you go, we're not going to let you go without talking about it. Race 1, Wehrlein, go
on. One word. Unnecessary.
Right,
Enough
okay.
from Antonio.
I was going to say make sure it's PG, but you made it PG, so that's the important thing. Unnecessary, yeah. No, I think it was, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't in his race, so why would he do that kind of thing? Surely Antonio was robust in his defense, but why would he go straight and then crash somebody into the wall? And I mean, yeah, I mean that could be one of the causes he lost so many points this weekend. Surely Porsche didn't have a great weekend, sure, but race pace and strategy wise, Pascal and Porsche go up the field easily. So why would he do that? That's the thing, you know. I mean, it was just unnecessary, and that race as well. Was on to be a certain win for Antonio. At that point, he was like 2% up on everybody, or at least on top 5, I think. So yeah. For me, just unnecessary from Pascal. That's it. Don't have anything else to comment.
That's fair. That's fair. Right, Ricardo, thanks for coming on.
Of course, always.
Right, and hopefully we'll hear from you after London.
Yeah, we'll see. If Antonio actually wins the championship, I'll play the Portuguese anthem in the FE bar. Yeah. Mark my words.
Well, let's see the copyright strikes, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can for the Portuguese anthem, but you never know. Right, cheers, Ricardo.
Yeah, we'll see. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
Right.
I will accompany him on the kazoo if he does.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Let's get shiny because Saz is here. I'm very shiny, Saz, but that's because I've been sweating quite a bit in this room over the last couple hours. How are you?
Good. I'm slightly less shiny because I've got a fan, but if I go outside, it's still like 38 degrees. So.
Oh, jeez. What, at the moment? Or during the day? During the day, okay. Yeah. I was about to say.
Probably about 30.
It's 38 degrees now. Jesus Christ.
It's okay because when I left for London last year, it was 37 degrees when I left, and Nick Cassidy won both races. So I'm just going to see what the temperature is when I leave for London.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't bode well for Mitch Evans. I don't think it's going to be 9 degrees in Valencia in mid-August. But actually, hang on. When are you? What day are you flying to London?
Friday.
Because you know what? I'm in Valencia that week. I'm in Valencia from the Monday until the Thursday. I fly back and then and then straight to the circuit because there's...
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing the same. I'm flying the Friday before the race.
Oh yeah, no. So I'm flying Thursday. But I'm going to be in Valencia for those couple of days because there's the eclipse.
Yeah, so am I.
My stream's buffered. Can we just check to make sure the stream's still on? Or is it my internet? Oh, no, my internet's gone. My internet's gone on my laptop. It's been doing this all evening. I hate it. It's fine. We're still on because this is on Ethernet. Sorry. Little bit of panic.
Sorry about also that. On Virgin Media?
No, I'm not. I'm on GigaClear. But to be fair, like the amount of advertising broadband providers are going to get tonight is insane. No, fantastic weekend for Nick Cassidy. I know that you're a huge Nick Cassidy fan. Brilliant weekend for him.
Yes, I was very conflicted this weekend because I was so happy for Nick, especially after the news about Cyril Blaze and for the whole team. You could tell how much it meant to them, and finally they got the strategy right, the race right. Like Nick was mostly calm on the radio, which is like, oh, this is a surprise. And then as a Mitch Evans fan, absolutely gutted, and it's like it was almost like Jaguar don't want to win. I was listening to his radio on Sunday, and Mitch was saying we need to go for attack, we need to take it earlier. They were just not listening to him, which, I mean, their strategies have been a thing throughout this season, and it just felt like how did you get it so? How do you keep getting it so wrong? I almost wanted him to do what Nick Cassidy did last year in Jeddah, where he got annoyed with Jaguar and just said, "I'm unplugging the radio," and got P5 or something. And I'm like, Mitch, maybe you should just do that.
To be fair, he only needs to put up with Jaguar for 2 more races before he descends into a probably Opal.
Yeah,
But,
it's like
yeah.
we can't say, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's an open secret that we think it's Opal. But yeah. But yeah, no. What did you make of the? So what did you make outright of Tokyo? Because yeah, it was a spectacular weekend.
Yeah, Tokyo was really cool. Like the Andretti livery under the lights, the rain, the chaos. And the first parts of the race were it was a bit slow to get going, but then with the pit boost and attack, it soon got there. And I mean, Tokyo's a very cool location. I don't know where they're gonna unfortunately, I think the big site is cool, but it's too narrow for Gen 4 cars. But I think as an event for Formula E, they did it very well. Like, I don't know if you got it on your broadcast, but on the Spanish broadcast they had like anime opening titles, and
I wouldn't know. I was on the watch alongs.
Yeah. Although there wasn't a lot of I'm sure there was more in Japan, but there didn't seem to be a lot of social media this week, things they normally do. I don't know if that was out of respect for Cyril or if it was just they just focused on the Japanese Japanese media. But now London's going to be scary, very intense and very stressful, but hopefully good.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you expecting out of London then? What's your hot tip?
I think it's if Jaguar will make Antonio play the team game, and if Jaguar get it right, and we as Jack was saying, we know they can do it, but they don't always do it. I hope they do that. I think it's going to be between Jake and Mitch more than. I know Pascal's very good, but I think now Jake's got that momentum. It's his home race. Felipe's doing well, so if they qualify well, they could definitely play the team game, and it's a long shot, but Andretti have a chance at the teams, so I think Andretti are definitely going to be playing the team game. I really hope it's Mitch, because I think he deserves it. He's deserved a championship so many times, and I think if he loses it, it will be not because he's a bad driver, but it will be because of Jaguar, things like not starting in Shanghai, team orders in Madrid, the bad strategy calls. So yeah. So hopefully, what I'd really like would be Mitch for the WDC and Andretti for the teams, just because it would be funny.
Fair enough. Right. We will see you in London then. I will say stick around watching for the final bit, because I'm going to say some really important stuff about the FEZ meetup. So yeah, keep watching. But Saz, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Before I go,
yeah,
can we have another effect, please? Some more blues.
Oh, can you do? Yeah.
Perfect. Wonderful.
No.
Yeah, no.
I did my best.
We tried.
I loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah. All right. Cheers, Saz. We'll see you in London.
Thanks so much. See you in London. Bye.
Right. And last but not least, Ed Hunter. Good evening. Ed.
Hello.
Hello. There we go. Yeah. You were muted, mate. So we couldn't hear you.
I was waiting on you.
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah. No. You good?
Yeah, I'm all right. Tokyo was pretty interesting. I must admit, I was very. It's really funny listening to Mr. Giordano. Just the distinction between the three Jacks, I guess. Waking up really early in Tokyo, whereas I pretty much kind of slept in and just listened to you and Josh doing the watch along.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I will say last year for Tokyo, because it was on the same weekend as Eurovision, I got blind drunk on the Saturday night and I watched the Sunday race through the cracks in my eyelids at 6 a.m. So it was nice to have.
You did a better job this time.
Yeah. It was nice to it was nice to have a race at a normal time.
Well,
for European,
get,
for European bases, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I wasn't sure because everyone's kind of discussed most of the things to do with the race, I guess. Sort of, Tictum getting that dramatic pass at the end in race 1, and then race 2 all sort of basically coming down to a little bit like that Shanghai race as well, where it came down to high pressures essentially, who had anticipated that it was going to dry out really quickly, and because the tarmac was quite hot, wasn't it? That was essentially keeping heat in it, even when some of the rain was falling down, and everyone was expecting another shower that never quite came. And you had a lot of teams like Mahindra that split the strategy. So obviously De Vries had a great second half of the race, whereas Edo sort of just fell down along with the likes of Taylor Barnard, Tictum, and company that were at the front of the start of the race. Yeah, so there's the usual little bit of not luck of the draw, but certainly good judgment. And some people got it wrong, some people got it right, and that's Formula E, baby.
Yeah. And looking ahead to London, obviously 9 drivers in the championship fight. Do you think 9's too much? Do you think it would be better if it was maybe 4 or 5? I mean, realistically, it is 4 or 5, but mathematically, it can be 9. And so, yeah. How have you rated this season, and what are you expecting in London?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's really, we do all talk about the last weekend, don't we? But realistically, it's going into the final race on Sunday is what really matters. And by that point, it is almost certainly going to go down to at least 4 or 5 out of those remaining, 9 or so. So yeah, I think I've enjoyed. It's been interesting how up and down it really has been, where Andretti and Dennis have had really just come on strong in this late phase of the season, whereas the likes of Evans, Pascal Verlaine have been very sort of up and down, sporadic, and then the likes of Roland Mortara just getting the points, and in Mortara's case, the pole positions, when they're available, which you never know. This championship really could come down to who ends up with the most pole positions out of our title contenders.
Yeah.
It really could be that tight. Although, thank goodness we're not getting into a situation as we had like all the way back in the day, about 10 years ago, where we had it was down to who got the fastest lap in the final race between Degrassi and and Buemi. So yeah. I mean, we won't have that problem next season because Degrassi's leaving, of course. So.
Yeah, true.
He's not been able to do it since the rules changed, which was the other thing.
Yeah. It's also you need to be in the top 10 now. But yeah, are you going to be in London, or are you watching from afar?
I think I'm going to watch from afar. I mean, it was literally a mate of mine from the FE bar, actually, helped swing me some tickets from McLaren, and now McLaren Formula E team no longer exists, so it would be quite difficult.
Yeah, that's
more
fair. That's fair. But yeah,
some kind of mechanic with a healthy redundancy package approaches me.
Yeah,
anyway,
no,
I think
that's fair.
Yeah,
probably.
But yeah, I think I'll probably save the money and go to Brands Hatch next year.
Yeah, I think What are you excited for Brands? Because it's going to be a really good venue.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times for British touring cars and sort of seeing F4 level cars there to think what it would be like with these Gen 4 cars with the amount of I think it'll be interesting to see where the regens are. You got to think like Druid Hairpin is going to be the main kind of regens, and that's almost certainly where they're going to put tank mode as well. But yeah, there's a sort of surreal sense of it because it's got so much history, Brands Hatch, from like traditional motorsport as well. There's a sort of last place you think when you think of Formula E as well. But I think there are a lot of people who say, "Oh, we would have gone to this if it didn't clash with British touring cars," and it's like typical Formula E. All this effort to avoid these other World Championship rounds, and it's BTCC. Like I think Donington or Thruxton or something like that. That's on the same day, same weekend. Or whatever. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'd be fascinating to see who is on the grid. There's all this discussion about what's going to happen with a Victim, and it was interesting here, Giuliano, there because if you watch the Formula E, I was watching their sort of post-race roundup, and one of the presenters basically said, "Oh, Tictum's gone from he's burnt the bridges." Basically, is what we're hearing. So clearly, Jack is clued in. Either clued in a lot better, to his credit, which despite all the wrong calls and predictions that we've made fun of Jack over the years. And I've made a few howlers of my own, to be fair, but I will always remind people of the very beginning of Gen 3 where I got it right with Jake Dennis based on absolutely nothing.
Yes, true,
More luck than judgment. There'd be a nice symmetry as well if Dennis could win the beginning and the final season of Gen 3 as well. I think that would have a lovely symmetry to it. Although I think a lot of people will be cheering on Mitch Evans, having never won it before. This could probably be one of his best chances. Well, we said that before in like season 10, didn't we? And then the Jaguar did Jaguar things. So hopefully Mitch can, like Saz said, unplug the radio. I've had that a couple of times when I've been doing go-kart commentary. And I had that moment where there was like some feedback with the speakers, and I was getting like someone in my ear saying, "Oh, it's feeding back," and it's like, well, that's the worst thing you get when you got one thing feeding back and then someone moaning about it feeding back and you're trying to commentate on a race. I end up pulling the whole thing out and just carrying on like nothing happened, and it all resolved itself. So the moral of the story is if you have problems, ignore them. But anyway,
fair.
Great. There was one thing that was
great
on my mind.
therapy advice.
There's one thing on my mind about next season. Funny enough, which maybe. I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, and not, but we've obviously, the news recently, Formula One, obviously with war in Iran, Bahrain, are paying to host the Bahrain Grand Prix at Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia, which is an interesting sort of state of affairs. And I know Jeff Dodds has been interviewed about Jeddah, which obviously similar region to Bahrain in the Middle East, and that he's basically said about a month ago. I think I got the article out because it was Nick Golding, friend of the show, did that interview, and this was 25th of June, I think it was. This interview, the article came out anyway. He says that I was with one of my manufacturers last week, a big manufacturer. I asked them the question: if we were racing in Jeddah this weekend and you had to go to your board and say, "Is everyone okay if we travel to the Middle East and race there?" What would the answer be? And they went away to get an answer, so they put the request in. They came back and said that there was 0 restrictions on traveling there, so we'd be absolutely fine to go there. Which, to be fair, is a diplomatic answer. They're trying to, keep our lords and masters, our Saudi overlords happy. Who are paying a significant amount to partnership and fund the whole thing. But yeah, it seems to me like Formula One are sort of starting to get into that point where they realize they're going to have to cancel or replace races, and it feels like Formula E is still in that denial phase, because I really think if the war's lasted as long as it has, it shows no sign of there's been like at least 5 or 6 ceasefires that have fallen through at this point. I feel like it's not changing anytime soon, and I think obviously one option that Dodds had was, we can just host it, we can do it later in the year in 27, which I suppose
maybe.
Again, we'll see. But I feel like there's a lot of indecision. There's sort of hope that things will turn out for the best. And in an active war zone, in my experience, that's not, again, bad advice from me, of course. Don't listen to what I have to say, but it's not the strategy I would have gone for. But who am I to criticize our glorious leader? But anyway,
I
don't know what you guys think about it.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I try not to turn it into a big, moral crusade or anything.
Yeah, no. Right, Ed, thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, and we will chat to you soon.
Yeah, well, whenever I see you.
Right.
Next FE bar after London.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right. Cheers, Ed.
Take
Bye.
care, guys.
Right. Well, we are almost there, basically. London E-Prix. If you're coming to the London E-Prix, there will be a meetup. After this show is ended, there is going to be a poll in the FE Fans on Tour text channel in the Formula E Discord. So ! Discord in chat if you're not there already. There will be a poll of 4 options of when you want to do the meetup. It will either be between practice and qualifying, or between qualifying and the race on Saturday or Sunday. Those are the options. That will go live once we've gone off air. Very quickly before we disappear, Jack, I feel like it would be wrong of us not to have like a moment of reflection to chat a little bit about Cyril Blaze, who we lost last week. I think I think it's rather poetic that we get to talk about this together, because I think our first interview with Cyril was the two of us. It was just after he got the gig in season 10, and Lizzie brought us down to meet Cyril, and yeah, we had a 10-15 minute chat with him. What are your memories of Cyril?
Do you know what? When I heard about this, when I heard the really sad news, that was actually the first thing I thought of. Was Lizzie taking us down to the back of the Maserati garage in Harama, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, we spoke to him, and you know, I've interviewed Cyril a couple of times after that, and I did so in Jeddah actually this season, and there's still quite a bit of that I still haven't published, and I will try and go back through it just to see if I can, because it would be great in some way if I could actually, because every time you spoke to Cyril, he was always incredibly straight talking, but in the politest way possible. He was always full of something that was worth hearing. There was never really any fluff. There was always something insightful. And it's just so wretchedly sad that, not, you know, of course, for his family and his friends that he's been taken too soon, but for Formula E as well, because I felt like that he was just getting that Citroen team where, you know, it was kind of being set up to be somewhere really good for Gen 4, and I'm sure that will happen, but unfortunately just in tribute to him rather than with him at the helm. But yeah, it's incredibly sad, you know, to lose Cyril, just such a marvelous guy, and you know, someone that had been around Formula E for a long time, very sort of quietly in a lot of ways, and then was, you know, sort of thrust to the main seat on the pit wall, if you like, and yeah, it's incredibly sad, and yeah, I will, you know, really regret the fact that I will never actually get to interview him again, because it was always such a great experience.
Yeah, no, definitely, and yeah, I think unfortunately that Madrid, I think that was the only time I did actually interview him, because, and partly because I don't spend too much time in the paddock anymore, because of a multitude of reasons, but yeah, that convo that we had, it was a really great like little chat, and especially because he was new into the role. He'd obviously been race engineer at Mahindra and Venturi beforehand, and before getting the deputy team principal role at Maserati, and then stepping up to it after James Rossiter split ways with Maserati. But yeah, and even John-Eric Verne saying that it was 2 weeks ago in Shanghai that that he had that conversation with Cyril that said, right, okay, let's go for the dry tire. Was it the dry tire setup? Yeah, and let's just go for it, so that we can, like, so if it does happen, we're there. And they got second place, and yeah, so yeah, no, what a man, and thoughts with the entire Citroen team and his family and friends, because yeah, it's such a really, really sorry thing to happen, but yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that just about does it for the FE bar. I want to thank Toby Burtz for stepping in last minute whilst Jack was having technical problems at the start. Jack, yeah, Jack, thank you for coming on. It's been great to do
Oh, you're
this. Yeah. It's been a while since we've done one. Since we've done one like this. So, and I will see you in a few weeks' time in London as well. So, yeah.
You will indeed.
Where all our terrible predictions again.
I was going to say, well, you can have a great laugh at my expense, I'm sure.
Oh, I think you are. I think you are as well. I think I've made some absolute howlers in there.
I'm banking on the really random ones that we came up with being the ones where it swung it back towards my favour, because I'm pretty sure my champion, still mathematically possible, is probably not going to happen.
One of my champions that I put on there is mathematically possible, but realistically not likely. But yeah, it's looking forward to that, and you guys will be able to see that when we edit it all, and that will come out probably at the end of August. But yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you, Jack. I will see you in 3 weeks' time. Thank you to all of you for watching, for coming on. We can't do this show without you. So have a good evening, and if you're coming to London in 3 weeks' time, we'll see you then. If not, we'll be back Monday after London as we review the championship deciders. Thanks for your company tonight, everyone. We will see you in 3 weeks' time. Good night.